What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be diving into my top 10 wide receiver best ball targets of 2022. These aren't necessarily the top ranked receivers. These are the guys that, per the way I've been drafting my teams, that I've been targeting at certain areas, maybe even going up above their ADPs to get them. So let's go ahead and reveal our top target here. We're going to show the categories first, and then our top target for me in 2022 is going to be Mr. Mike Evans. Now, this shouldn't be a huge surprise to anybody because Mike Evans is a fantastic wide receiver and now has really not a whole lot of other people there helping him out. Yes, he has Russell Gage. If you're watching this, Russell Gage limped off the field today. Not the youngest wide receiver in the world. It's just one of those things. Now, we've got Chris Godwin coming back. He's progressing really well from his ACL injury that he had last year. However, he's not going to be ready to go like right away. No Gronk this year. Mike Evans is going to be an absolute target monster. The reason I also really like Mike Evans is he works on both best ball platforms. So if we're talking half-point PPR like Underdog or full-point PPR like DraftKings, are the two sites I play on, works a lot both ways because he's going to get a lot of touchdowns. 137 targets and about 89 receptions, I think, is a very conservative number for him. I expect this TD number to be closer to 11. So that's really why I like Mike Evans. I think if you're doing any prop bets, if you can find anything, over 9, over 10.5, over 9.5, over 8.5, I really like all those bets. My number 2 wide receiver is going to be Michael Pittman Jr. This is one that is absolutely wild, and it might be the biggest disparity in the entire NFL fantasy-wise between where the number 1 wide receiver is being drafted and the next wide receiver. Next wide receiver is Paris Campbell, right? He's going like ADP like 188. He's going way the hell later. Michael Pittman going in the top 30. So I really like Michael Pittman. He's a fantastic receiver. He's a guy that I really like to try and target. If you go running back heavy in the first couple rounds of the best ball draft, I think you're perfectly fine taking Michael Pittman as your first wide receiver off the board. Again, I think that these projections from Underdog or from Run the Sims are a little bit conservative. I like Michael Pittman for closer to 9 touchdowns. And I like where his targets are, I like where the receptions, but I think the TDs are going to go up, and I think he's closer to about a 1,350-yard player this year with a much improved quarterback in Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. My number 3 receiver I'm targeting, well, I tried to tell you guys last year, Gabe Davis. Got him as many places as I could, made me a lot of money all year in regular DFS, season long, and best ball. Gabe Davis is going to do nothing but get better and better and better. I like the touchdown number. I think he's more of a 1,200-yard wide receiver this year. I like the touchdowns around 8. I think that he's going way, way, way too late. I mean, I got him today in a couple of drafts, almost in the 6th round. That's way too late, and I don't know why people are passing on this guy. I also don't agree too much here with the target efficiency. I think that he is going to have a much better target efficiency. So I like him somewhere closer to about 80 catches this year rather than that 68. I think he's going to be quite a bit more efficient with his targets this year than he was last year. He's gotten nothing but better. I don't know why you wouldn't want him on your team. Number 4, again, a guy that just continually gets disrespected because he's on a quote-unquote bad team. Guys, I really don't care. The Texans are going to have to throw the ball a lot. The Texans didn't add, outside of Nico Collins and Brevin Jordan, a whole bunch of help. Like, what are we talking about here? So, look, Brandon Cooks is the guy that I'm actively going out there and targeting and going after. He's a fantastic 2nd or 3rd wide receiver if you go really heavy in your drafts. I think this touchdown number of 4.4 is absolutely absurd. I think I've got him up around 8, and I have him about 96 receptions, just short of 100. He's going to get the targets, and I really, really, really like, what he's going to do with those targets. And I think personally, I mean, I just don't understand why he's continuously getting so disrespected. Go ahead and get Brandon Cooks, draft him, feel great about it. Number 5 is going to be Jerry Jeudy, and there's no real secret about why this has happened. Tim Patrick went down. He gets an upgrade also with Russell Wilson. I'm personally not in love. And again, this projection number of 3.9 touchdowns, I think is just wild. Everyone is really, really infatuated with Courtland Sutton. And I'm not saying that Sutton is a bad player. Far from that. He's a fantastic player, right? I just personally don't think that Courtland Sutton is going to just be the absolute target hog that everybody's going to say. And, if they're projecting Courtland Sutton for, 9 touchdowns, like I just think that the projection for Jeudy is off. I like him more around six, maybe even 7 touchdowns. And if you want to bet some props on the over on that, I'm good with that too. Number 6, well, if anybody who knows me out there knows that I love Brandon Aiyuk, and I have believed in Brandon Aiyuk from day one. Tough start, but you saw the absolute flashes of greatness. Now, the reports coming out of camp are nothing but absolutely spectacular. He's going to draw some more, definitely a lot more targets. Now, obviously, the Niners are not that big of a passing offense, right? But I still think that Brandon Aiyuk is going to go over 1,000 yards this year. I think his efficiency is going to be up. I think that the targets right in that 95 to 105 is going to be really good. It's a pretty good projection, but I think he's not going to have a lot of the drop problems that he had before, and I think he goes over those yardages. Touchdowns, I think the projection of right around 5 or 6 is pretty fair. The Niners do try and run the ball quite a bit, but I think you're going to see some absolute electric stuff from Brandon Aiyuk this year, and especially in a PPR, I think that he is really, really going to shine. Like him in half point as well. Number 7 is a guy. Look, Elijah Moore. If you watch the film and you actually watch football, you will see the absolute unbelievable talent that this guy has. Okay. I know they drafted Garrett Wilson. I think that's a good, compliment to what Elijah Moore does. But everybody else they have there is nothing. Davis, Mims, they've got nobody else. This guy is a dynamic. I don't want to call him. It's really tough to comp somebody like Deebo Samuel, but I think that Elijah Moore can fit into a lot of the concepts that Deebo Samuel fits into, which is getting him the ball, short yardage, around the line of scrimmage, and letting him run with the catch. He's definitely if he was on the Niners, he would definitely be one of the Yak Bros. Elijah Moore is a fantastic player. You hear some of his former teammates talk about him, like A.J. Brown. They just marvel what an incredible athlete. In best ball, I'm targeting the best possible, highest upside athletes. Now, I know the Jets could be an absolute tire fire. They just lost Mekhi Becton. To me, that just means that they're going to try and get Elijah Moore a little bit more involved quickly because their pass blocking is going to be not so great this year. Number 8 is going to be another one of those guys when you start to get down here into the draft, okay? ADP, 114. Now, Rondale Moore, if you look at the rankings where Rondale Moore and Elijah Moore, the Moore brothers here, we're going to have another one. So we've got the Moore trio. I mean, this is a steal. And I think this touchdown number for Rondale Moore, especially with Nuke Hopkins being out for the first 6 weeks and the other options being AJ Green and Hollywood Brown. I mean, I think I like him up more around the 6th touchdown. I like his rushing upside. Obviously, we've got that factored in over here too. I think he's good for at least 2 rushing touchdowns this year, 160 yards. That's just all that more reason that he's valuable in this ADP range, right? If we're talking about 114 ADP, If we're playing in our 12-team leagues, right, that's going to be, right around that round 10, round 9, somewhere in there. And I've seen him go a lot later too. That's the average. I've been in drafts where nobody wants to take this guy. I'll take him every single time. I mentioned we had a third member of the Moore. So we get the Moore trio, the Moore to the third power here, if you will, Sky Moore. Essential to best ball is finding those wide receivers very far down in the draft that are going to be your top wide receivers. Last year for me, when I was fortunate enough to finish second in the DraftKings Millionaire Maker by a very, very small margin, Jamar Chase was that guy because he had all the drops. He just fell and plummeted down draft boards. I went ahead and took him. The other rookie wide receiver that I watched the film and I saw the talent in this kid was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, I'm not saying Sky Moore is going to have years like that, but Amon-Ra St. Brown wasn't doing a whole lot in the beginning of the year. That's not when you need some of these guys. You need some of these guys to come through once they start learning the program a little bit. Sky Moore is getting the ball thrown to him by Patrick Mahomes. What better situation could you want than Patrick Mahomes throwing you the ball? His competition for the number one wide receiver, I mean, let's take Kelsey out of the equation. It's Juju Smith-Schuster and Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman has been given many, many, many opportunities throughout the years to advance in the Kansas City's offense, and he hasn't. This is one of the reasons why they drafted Sky Moore and brought some of these other guys in. They also brought in, some other players that I think Sky Moore is going to be a fantastic addition. I think he is going to really be a catalyst in that offense. And if you look at him, if you look at these numbers and projections that they have on Sky Moore, it's just criminally low. I think it's absolutely silly. His ADP is going to be more than Rondale Moore, but I still like him quite a bit. Continuing on the theme of rookie guys we got to find in the final round is maybe the most pro-ready wide receiver that has come out of the draft, in my opinion, in Romeo Doubs. Doubs went to UNR, got the privilege to watch him in person, to meet the kid. He's a fantastic player, okay? He gets it. He played with a big, strong quarterback in Carson Strong, mind the pun, in Nevada for UNR. Really put up a lot of touchdowns, 11 touchdowns last year. I think he's going to be an absolute target machine. Again, his competition for the number one spot is Alan Lazard. Come on. These projections, I get that he's a rookie, but 30 receptions and 400 yards at ADP 158. I'm taking that all day long. I think that he's going to easily finish within the top 50 to way outperform his ranking as far as wide receivers go, as long as he stays healthy. So that's it, guys. So again, to recap, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, Gabe Davis, Brandon Cooks, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Aiyuk, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, Sky Moore, and Romeo Doubs are my top 10 wide receivers to target when you're doing your best ball drafts coming up over the next month. Good luck, and I hope I see you guys in that Millie Maker final on Underdog and on DraftKings. Have a good night, everybody.